Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
So here's how H is gonna die.
Oh no! Welcome back to the Side Quest podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm BJ.
I'm Luke.
And it's my birthday. No, it's not.
Happy birthday, BJ.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks.
Luke, you were looking real fancy at Carmen's birthday. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Nice seeing. It's like, I mean, even though you say like people say it in movies and other stuff, but like a suit, a uniform changes a man.
Yeah, I mean, it was when
Feels like armor.
it really does. Mm-hmm. But there's something, because especially when you're like your main thing is just black skinny jeans and graphic tees. Any like nice change up is immediate like, oh hey, you're looking nice today.
Yeah.
But then when you go all in from like, it's literally the 0 to 100. Like there's no build up. It's like from the grungiest like just shit I pulled from my closet to I actually like ironed and like did some shit and dressed up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
You look good.
it's nice.
You did a really nice job at Carmen's birthday, and it was a good time, good vibes. There are certain people there that we didn't. It was good. It was good.
Glad everybody had fun.
Did you have fun?
Yeah. I was worried that I wasn't like letting things go on long enough, but I there was a very clear pattern that like everybody would get like the things out they wanted to say, and then they'd all immediately stuff their faces with food.
That I think was the highlight of the night.
Yeah, there was some good food
We
that night.
talked about it. I think a couple days ago, Luke. But essentially, it was just came down to it was probably the best eating I've ever had at a party. Because a lot of times, like there's parties that you go to that like at least other people's houses where there's not like a lot of food or it's not that good, and the spread that we had.
It was a good spread.
It was really
like,
good. I didn't feel like anyone felt underfed. I feel like everyone felt like they got enough of all the different things. So,
And most of the food was like savory stuff, so it's like you can eat it before dinner, which was nice.
yeah.
Well, it was also like being that it was all kind of finger food stuff too. Where you like, with the exception of like the shrimp thing.
Which is exactly what I. That was the one issue I had, because Carmen had all this ideas of finger food, and I was like, that'd be great if it was like an afternoon party.
Yeah.
This is dinner. We need to serve one thing that's a little bit more has
Like
a little
filling,
like hearty.
Kinda,
yes,
yeah.
a little more hearty, and so that's why we did the shrimp and creamy sauce. So
It was
That
really
was
good.
amazing.
What did
appreciate
you do
that.
to the shrimp? Because because at first I was expecting more of a fish taste or the like kind of
like salt, pepper, and paprika, and then I seared them first before
before you boiled them in the thing.
and then I made the sauce and let it thicken up, and then I threw in the shrimp just to warm them up.
Yeah, that's what, because I was like this it when I was biting into them, I'm like, this feels like it was not fried, but like there was like some crisp to the shrimp bits, and I was like, okay, so you seared them a bit, nice. It was really good. That the broth especially, fucking amazing.
Yeah. I got a new thing from Costco for dinner tonight.
Nice.
Some enchiladas.
Ooh.
So we'll give it a shot. I was like,
Love enchiladas.
yeah.
So, did you see the Smiling Friends premiere?
I have not yet.
I came home.
I don't have Max, so
Well, it wouldn't have mattered, because let's tell the long story
Oh.
that shouldn't have been long.
I came home. Was it a Friday?
Yeah, it was the day before Carmen's party.
Yeah, I came home on Friday, and I gotten an ad on TikTok that said Smiling Friends whole season streaming now on HBO. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I got home, and I was like, Matt, we need to watch this shit. Sit down. he was like, hold on, I'm doing a 20-minute Helldivers campaign. I was like, okay. So I sat down and started doing my nails. And then Matt comes over. We turn on the TV, go to Max. It's not fucking there. TikTok just lied. And then I got really angry. And then...
it was really uncomfortable, like, next 5 minutes, because we were all both on the couch, like, ready. I brought, like, a beer over, and then we were just sitting there like, oh, well.
Yeah, so it just... it was a lie. And then...
fuck the vibes up.
We did the whole thing on Saturday, and then the next day, I was sitting in my room playing Resident Evil 4, which I finished, and Matt comes in and he's like, hey, Smiling Friends is about to come on TV. And I was like, oh, fuck, let's go.
Yeah, because Ezra was like, and then we're talking about that they saw ads for it and that they watched it. It comes to find out Ezra was just fucking with me.
Asshole.
And he was like, yeah, dude, it's out. Go watch it right now. And so then...
that reminds me of somebody else I know. Yeah, I watched it.
Was it one of those things
It
where
was out.
Did it go on Adult Swim first and then comes to Max later?
Yeah, so the
On
first two
live
episodes are
TV.
on Max
Okay.
now.
So
Okay.
we had to log in. Thank
they
you,
did-
Million Will, for letting us use your YouTube TV. We watched it on YouTube TV as it came out live at like 11, even though when we first sat down, it was 8 o'clock when Ezra was like, yeah, go watch it.
Yep.
They did that with the My Adventures of Superman too, where it's like Adult Swim gets it like live and then it goes to HBO Max.
So it was on
afterward.
HBO Max on Monday. So, yeah.
And now it'll be a new episode
The
every
second
Sunday.
episode of season 2 is incredible. The present one.
It's... I don't know which one is supposed to be first because it lists the President one as the second episode, but it came out first. And then the second episode is listed as Gwimbly, and the first episode is listed as Gwimbly, but that came out second.
Yeah.
Well, it's just been like an airing situation where now that it's on Max, they put it in the right way.
Yeah.
Or it could be that they put on Max the wrong way. Who fucking knows?
But the President episode is incredible. The Gwimbly one just ended up making me sad because it's just a commentary on old mascot platformers.
Oh, nice.
It's a 1-to-1 comparison of Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, nice.
And at the end, Gwimbly he gets put in Smash. And then it's just like, oh, well, I guess this is good enough.
Yeah, like, oh,
It's
what
like-
can we do with these characters that, like, we're not going to make another game of? Oh, just put them in a fighter.
Yeah, and it's
Arena
like,
fighter.
fuck. That sucks.
you and me talked about this at the party, but I think, but it's like, or I've at least talked to both of you about it, but like, Microsoft has been sitting on Banjo-Kazooie for years.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could easily just be like, hey, we're doing a Banjo remake. You know what I mean? And
Well, what sucks is that private ownership, because I'm sure that other studios, like, I mean, this is just news, but Big Mouth, Donkey's company, just
Big Mode.
Big Mode. I'm
Not
sorry,
Big Mouth.
Big Mode.
Don't
Yeah.
keep that name out of your mouth.
Yeah. I forgot. I was like, what's wrong with Big Mouth? Everything.
Okay, Carmen.
Everything is wrong with Big Mouth. Big Mode, they just released their first game, and apparently it's just incredible. People absolutely love it. It's beautiful, but it's just sad when like these big corporations own these IPs that, I mean, not saying that Banjo games are simple, but I feel like it's not. You're not writing a story like you have to for the next Last of Us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like that would make it easier to produce and get more of.
Yes, which I'm saying, which is it's why it should be easier and they should be putting it out, but they don't.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, but it like there's so many. That's why it sucks. Why there's these big companies that own them and do nothing with them.
Everything has to have 5 hours of walking and a bunch of lesbians.
Yeah. So yeah, it sucks. That, I mean, even if we do get one. I mean, because then it might be like some dumb thing in like 10 years after Microsoft sells the rights away or the studio dies, and then the rights expire, and then some other company can pick them up.
It's crazy that company has stuck around at Microsoft for so long, having only made Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and fucking Sea of Thieves, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, they've done other stuff here and there. Like I know the big Rare Replay was big. Granted, it's a bunch of
It's just a
Yeah.
emulator compilation.
but I know I feel like they've done other stuff for because they did Perfect Dark Zero, which wasn't that good. They did a bunch of stuff for them for the 360. And then they were working on Sea of Thieves for the Xbox One, which launched terribly, but now is like huge. And then they've been working on that game Everwild forever. I think the last time we saw a trailer for that was like 2018, maybe. And it's like that game's never coming out.
Like I said, I beat Resident Evil 4.
How did you like it?
I liked it a lot. I started out hating it, and as I told both of you, my first impressions were the controls are too easy to use.
And they kill the dog.
Yeah, and I thought they killed the dog because there's a moment where they focus in on this dog in a bear trap in roughly the same area it is in the original game. And the dog is dead and being picked apart by crows in this bear trap. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You didn't want to code 2005 dog AI. And then they just baited me, and the dog is just later up near the manor in the game. So I was very happy about that. All the guns are pretty much one-to-one as far as the feel goes.
What about like upgrading guns and all that, like weapon shop kind of stuff?
I actually like the way the merchant works better than in the original because
Let me show you my wares.
yeah, there's treasures that you can find, and there's little like gems that you have to inlay in the treasures to
make
add
them more
the value.
expensive.
Yeah, so you do that, and
That
there's
was a big part of Village.
Yeah, Village was basically just a. Would people like a Resident Evil 4 remake?
It was aggressively like, we're thinking of doing 4 remake, right? Let's test it with a all new cast of characters and a new thing, but the same shit.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah.
So
Now it worked twice.
yeah, let's go for a third.
Hey, Resident Evil 9, brother.
How's the voice acting in it?
Voice acting is really good. It's a hard shift for Ada because I feel like the voice in 4 is very different than it is in.
What characteristic do you
they
think
recast her.
is different?
She's
Is Leon the same though?
Leon's been the same since 2.
Oh, okay.
They recast Ada. I think because they actually cast an actual Chinese woman to do it. Because
Okay.
before it was just I think some white girl. Granted, really good voice actress, but like they did cast differently.
They also gave way more flavor to Luis, which I loved. He's basically you can go through the whole game of original 4 and not even know what his deal was. So I'm really glad that they added him as like a partner in some sections.
Is there a boss fight in original 4 that you like, and did it change in remake?
Yeah, there's in original 4, there's this one where you have to fight 2 of those big behemoths.
Yes.
And you have to drop one of them into the like lava to kill it. In that fight in the remake, Luis is with you, and one of them is completely armored all over its body. So you obviously take out the unarmored one first, drop it into the lava, and then Luis is like, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And he like scuttles into this vent and comes back with dynamite, and he jumps onto its back and then blows its shell open so then you can shoot it. I really like that a lot more than the original, just because it was flavorful and it's like team building for you and Luis. The Sadler fight I felt was way harder because I don't remember this being in the original, but maybe I just kill him too fast. But he has this.
Maybe I'm just too good.
Yeah, maybe I'm just actually Leon in real life. But he has this phase in the new one where he summons a bunch of those flying bugs, like an army of them, to come and like attack you while he's trying to kill you.
Dang.
So that was a whole thing. But it's overall.
And
it's
are
really
all
good.
like the advanced weapons like the same?
Like
like the sniper or like.
Yeah, the second sniper that you get is pretty much the same. All the handguns are 1-to-1.
Yeah.
The shotguns are all the same. They did add another rifle, which is more like an assault rifle, but it uses the sniper ammo.
Okay, like a little DMR or something.
Yeah, it's more like a
It's automatic.
yeah,
Oh.
but it's missable.
Oh, okay.
Like you can run past it completely. I didn't use that one much, and then they added a second submachine gun that wasn't in the first one, I don't think. And that one you can attach scopes to, like the thermal scope for those guys that have little bugs in their body. So that was cool.
How'd you like? Because at least I didn't see it, but no throne sitting animation in this one, at least.
No throne at all, pretty
Yeah.
much, except for what's his name, Salazar's, the little boy man. But you don't get to sit in it.
It's kind of sad. That was one of the funniest bits in OG4. It's just like It's like, God dang it! You got to save the president's daughter and all this stuff. It's like, let me pull this shit off real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it because it's not something that was there in the actual story. It's just a thing that you could do. All the things that I was worried that they would take out, they left in.
How do you like the different tone between Leon and Ashley?
I like it a lot because Ashley was a little bitch in the original, and now it's like a story of her gaining her courage and becoming more like self-sufficient.
Like, this Ashley makes more sense going into like 6 and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas Ashley from OG4, I'm like, you are gonna die like the second Leon leaves you.
Definitely. And now I feel like there's a chance for them to bring Ashley back, which I feel like there's been some demand for before, but now it feels real that they could do that.
Did you see that there is a possible Resident Evil 1 remake coming in this style now too?
I mean, I hope so. That, like, everything hinges on Resident Evil 1, and I don't want to play the fucking GameCube port to get it.
0, but yeah. Do you think they do that? Do you think they do a full, like, remake of 1 that, like, it also is just 0 added to it? Or do you think
I think it'll be a
alone?
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 situation, where it's like, oh, we remade 1, now take these tools and make 0.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was originally, basically.
I still, to this day, want them to remake Code Veronica.
Yeah, dude, me too. That's my mom's favorite game.
It really?
At least in the Resident Evil series. Paper Mario 1000 Year Door might beat it out.
Not Luigi's Mansion.
That's a good point. My mom fucks with GameCube hard.
Did you say she replays it like?
She plays when she starts a Luigi's Mansion playthrough. She takes the whole day and finishes it in that day.
Dang.
Yeah, and she's always got like the best fucking house at the end of it.
I want them to put Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. Like, not just 2, like full on the first one.
But they remade the original one for the new 3DS XL. Isn't that good enough for you?
I mean, it probably is, but I don't pull my 3DS out enough to play it.
The other remake, I just need them to put the Wii U Wind Waker on Switch.
Apparently, the guy who also leaked the Metroid Prime remaster and said that they're just holding it for whenever
For Switch 2.
Yeah, they're apparently holding Wind Waker and Twilight Princess dual pack as a thing. So they're both gonna just get one cartridge.
That's enough for me to buy it.
But they were talking about doing Metroid Prime Remastered Trilogy, and now we just have Metroid Prime Remastered.
I wonder.
So I think they'll split it up and be $60 a piece again.
Oh, 100%. But like, I feel like the thing is, the dual pack has been like from like the reliable leakers has been the dual pack thing of those two, and they'll call it like a something collection. But the Metroid Prime thing is that when people say, "Oh, they're remastering the trilogy," the guy who teased the Prime one was like, "Oh yeah, they are separately," which I'd be down for, considering the first one was like what $40-$50. It wasn't a full price.
Yeah, I think it was 40, but it looks really fucking good.
For like, I'm gonna be honest, I was just expecting like a port, but I didn't expect like what it feels like a full ground up remake.
Yeah, it looks incredible, and if they do Wind Waker and they do Twilight Princess, then they fucking have to do Xenoblade X, because that is the last Wii U game that anybody ever would want to play that isn't on anything else yet. Just fucking do it, Nintendo.
I wonder if it's gonna be a monolith thing where they're like, well, we want to do it, but we want to finish 3 and do whatever first.
Just make it a triple pack. Make it Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Would you just call it like the last remnants pack or some shit?
Call it the fucking.
Do you really think they would do a Twilight Princess Wind Waker pack and not just remake them and charge $60 for each?
Oh, I mean, I could see them doing both.
That's what they did on the Wii U.
Yeah, I could see them doing both. The thing is, just based on like the reliability of some of these leakers that are saying it, I trust it a bit more. Where it's like, because that's also an easy way to get someone immediately into your new console.
Speaking of leaks, did you hear the Marvel news? So
the
leaker for the new Captain America movie.
I have not now.
So somebody, even though McDonald's is already getting toys for it, which is spoiling the movie because of the toys, some guy put out on Instagram leaks, and so Marvel subpoenaed Instagram to give the information on the leaker, like his name, his address, his credit card information that's linked to Instagram,
Holy fuck.
his IP address.
Here comes the Pinkerton
essentially,
Avengers.
like, from how it looks, Instagram's going to. It's not like a thing that they're probably going to not do, but Yup.
Thanks
a lot, Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. It's,
Anyway, in the new Captain America movie, Red Hulk is in it. Black Widow's alive again. There's a new
Are
Falcon.
you serious?
Yes.
Go fuck off. She better be. It's probably some variant bullshit.
Also, Yelena is a separate character, so I know it's not her.
I wonder if it's they're doing Secret Wars lead up bullshit where it's like it's a variant.
Probably, but
what's Secret Wars again?
that's where they all get transported to Battle Planet and they have to super smash each other.
Really?
Yeah,
Honestly,
They
that
really just fight each other?
pretty much. Yeah,
Why? Aren't they on a team?
yeah, but this whole Secret Wars was like, we need toys that fight. So they're like, oh, make a character that brings people to an alien world and makes them fight.
literally is like a giant tournament arc for Marvel. Although that would be kind of cool for like something to see because all the people who go, who would win, Thor versus Captain Marvel, and then literally just be like, let's find out.
A Secret Wars made by Marvel wouldn't be like lore accurate.
It'd be like, how did you get here?
Well, I was gonna be like, and like, the new, Black Widow takes down Thor somehow, like because of like it wouldn't actually be like these.
Well, even
this is
in
not
like
canonically strong. Like,
Also, all the villains are dead.
yeah,
They kill every single one at the end of the movie, so there can't be any villains, and they're just going to be like, oh, I guess we have to fight like friends.
well, the thing is, if I don't think I've read Secret Wars for so long, but don't they pair them off pretty well, even in Battle Planet?
Yeah.
yeah. Because I was gonna say it's someone like Thor is fighting Captain Marvel, not fucking Black Widow.
Well, we all know how that would end if Marvel's writing it,
If they do Secret
regardless
Wars,
of powers or anything.
that would be the perfect way to introduce Doom.
I mean, they kind of have to because they can't really
But
do
isn't
Kang
Doom
anymore.
in the new Fantastic? Being introduced in the new Fantastic? movie?
Possibly.
Probably.
I mean, we're getting Galactus. It's voiced by Sid, so I'm cool with it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Big booming voice.
But I'm actually excited for that because now I've got Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, and then Sid is Galactus. I'm like, I'll go watch this.
Dude, speaking
It
of
seems good.
Pedro, apparently him and the voice actor for Zuko went to the same like middle school together.
That's crazy.
There's some person like looked at a yearbook and they were like, there are 3 images like one below the other, and I was like,
That's pretty
What?
crazy.
and also, I mean, it is true. The guy who plays Zuko and Rufio is like that old, but
He
to
does
me,
not look it.
He does not look it.
He's
at all.
like 25 tops.
Dude, 100%.
he also
Like, even though I know Pedro's like getting up there in age,
It's crazy to me too that like he has one of those voices that you'll hear him and you go, you're like 13, 16, and then you see him like, okay, 25, and it's like, oh no, I'm getting up in like my 40s, 50s. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, it's crazy.
That motherfucker aged like a fine
I
wine.
mean, also Alan Richardson, he's like 45.
Yeah, but he's immortal and will never die.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Let
he's
him-
probably been alive since like the 1800s.
Let him be Batman.
Is he the God Emperor?
Probably. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
He's Space King.
No, dude.
That's the whole plot. Is the God Emperor, like when he first comes into existence, he like helps, like is just among the people and just keeps on living, and then he just starts forming like society in the ways that he thinks it should go, and then becomes the God Emperor. That's also another plot point of did you watch the Sandman show on Netflix?
no.
Is the first 2 episodes are really
I watched
good.
episode 1 and I thought that was really good, and then I was like, oh, it's just gonna be like Monster of the Week after this.
Yeah, but there is one point where he like goes to somebody in like the 1400s and he meets somebody at a bar and he goes like, would you want to like live forever? And I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, okay, every 100 years we're gonna meet at this location at this bar, and then you're gonna tell me like what you think of life, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'm just curious. And so then this guy like lives like 700 years and every 100 years he has a chat with Mr. Sandman. So I thought it was very interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up for my entertainment.
Well, it's also funny because like the first 100 years he's like, this is amazing, and then the second 100 years he's like, yeah, like I'm just like now kind of starting to do stuff, and then or like he's like, oh yeah, I've become king now, and then because I'm just live forever, and then yeah, it's really funny after like each 100 years the change in the personality of the guy. So but it was a cool show after 3 episodes.
Speaking of new shows, have any of you guys even have any interest to see the Doctor Who thing?
Which one? The one where they split David Tennant off?
The Disney Plus one.
What is the Disney Plus one?
The black dude.
Oh, no.
No.
I've stopped caring about Doctor Who, and I know that because they made him regenerate into David Tennant, which should not be possible. And then they just were like, okay, we're gonna split you away from David Tennant, and David Tennant is gonna go have David Tennant adventures. And it's just like,
Apparently, the Disney Plus one is like a full-on reboot, where it's like all the previous Doctor shit, at least from what I can tell, is like non-canon. This is their own Disney Plus canon thing, and they're
Like
starting
separate
over.
timelines. Separate
Yeah,
universe.
like they're set. It's like this is just gonna be its own thing, so you can kind of. It's like for at least Disney, it's like we have the rights, so might as well do something with it, and then it's a jumping on point. So if you don't want to have to deal with the fact that Doctor Who's been going on since what, the 60s, 40s even, you could be like, fuck it, watch.
Did you know that David Tennant's father-in-law is a previous Doctor?
yeah, the third.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah. So, it does make, though, for like a fun little bit of like, oh yeah, it's like that.
Well,
you know,
what I'm curious of, which I'm sure is an internet search away,
There's
is
only like 17 people in Britain.
if he was the Doctor before he was married or after.
It was, I think it was slightly before, but he was already dating her. If I remember correctly. I could be totally wrong.
Interesting.
I miss when Doctor Who was good.
Me too.
it was
I literally haven't seen since the last episode. The last episode of Matt Smith I haven't seen, and then forward because I couldn't bring myself to move on.
I've seen, like, obviously I've seen Weeping Angels. And I've seen, like, a couple of Matt Smith ones here and there. But I pretty much stopped watching religiously the day that David Tennant was, like, regenerated.
Matt Smith is a very good Doctor.
wasn't he wasn't his season like a little darker and kind of more like tone wise? It was definitely changed. From Matt Smith.
had some really
Yeah.
intense, scary episodes.
Or sorry, Matt Smith. I don't know if I said that, but Matt Smith's was darker than David Tennant's. So,
Yes,
yeah.
they had some really, like, at least they went more on, like, not horror, but like
Almost like cosmic horror kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the,
Well, 'cause
the beings that you look at and forget about.
that one is, it's a 2-part episode.
Really good.
It's wild.
It's one where like even like filming wise, like when you watch Doctor Who, there's like a kind of whimsy and kind of like colorful nature, and like the way it's filmed, it's filmed like on a stage clearly, you know what I mean? Whereas Matt Smith felt like, oh, we went to locations, we filmed in places, it's like darker
the production
lighting.
value
Yeah.
on the Matt Smith stuff also is cranked way the fuck
Yeah.
up from the previous
There
two.
was one episode I saw a clip from that is the Peter Capaldi episode, and essentially River Song gets captured by this person that is like just trying to find the Doctor to like kill him and take his powers or something like that. And so Peter Capaldi goes there to like rescue her. She hasn't seen him since the Matt Smith season, and so she's there with the Doctor, and the guy asked River like, where's the Doctor? And she's like, I don't know, and she says, well, aren't you the woman that the Doctor loves? And she goes, no, that's not true. I love the Doctor with all my heart, but like, he's too great to love somebody like me. He's the Doctor. He doesn't like care what mere like humans think. And then she goes on and off, and then Peter Capaldi's like, and then she turns around and goes, hello, love. Kills me. And her face is like, oh my god, he is here. What the fuck? Oh, so good.
The River Song makes me really sad in retrospect, because the first episode you see of her is in with David Tennant, and she's like, do you know who I am? And he's like, no. And then she fucking dies. And then you see, because the timelines are reversed.
Yeah, it's so, yeah. So, that's a really, I'll show you guys that clip. It's so heartfelt. And
I've been wanting to watch them because I know like the Doctor Who that I like knew of was Matt Smith, because like that's what everybody showed me, and I think it was airing at the time when like some of my friends got into Doctor Who.
Yeah, that was the Tumblr era of Doctor Who.
It also it's funny too to see him go from like Doctor Who, shitty vampire Morbius, then to fucking Daemon Targaryen.
He's also a Terminator.
He is.
yes.
So is
Against Daenerys Targaryen.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is an odd set of circumstances.
It's funny because he's really good as Daemon, but it's a thing of like, I've seen Matt Smith in enough things, and I'm like, that's a fucking wig, bro. Like
he does have a certain complexion that anything other than his natural look looks weird on him.
I think it's the slope of his forehead.
Yep. Because every time I'm watching House of the Dragons, I'm like watching this man, and I'm like,
well, it's also different when you watch, like, when you see people in movies that they just do movies. So, like, every movie they in, they kind of look different.
Yeah.
When you see Matt Smith in
You
3 seasons of hour-long episodes,
That's Matt Smith.
yeah, you're like, you have no other idea of how he could look.
it's another character too, because they're the one. I think it's Aemon One-Eyed in House of the Dragon was also in Last Kingdom, where he had like this short hair, kind of cropped, whatever. And then now in House of Dragons, he's got the long Targaryen hair. I'm like, it's a fucking wig, bro. I've seen you in not that. What the fuck? Like, and I'm so used to these actors not this way, where it's like with like Kit Harington as Jon Snow, it's like if he ever has any other hair color, I'd be like, no, that's not right. You can't do it.
He still does look odd in like his short hair too, I think.
I just hate seeing him in modern clothes. Where's your cloak, motherfucker?
Where's your fur coat, dude?
Same
Why are
with-
you not wearing black?
Well, it's with Emilia Clarke. Like, I know she's like naturally a brunette, and it's like that like weirds me out when I see her in like Solo or any other thing where I'm like, where's like the Snow White? Like, what the fuck? I don't like it.
I saw this thing recently where it was a real live video of the actress that plays Sansa making out with Peter Dinklage.
What the fuck? Here, give me one.
It was a,
Thank you.
Me too, please. It was like a news report where they were like, did this really happen? And she was like, well, what happened was we were at Comic-Con and there was this guy in a really realistic Peter Dinklage mask. It could have been Peter Dinklage. I don't know. And he's really fine. So I made out with him.
Wait, what?
Peter Dinklage fucks.
I mean, I'm sure he does.
There was that
You
one.
think same size or does he fuck
I
up?
bet you he gets any bitch.
Yeah, he could have anyone he wants. I also, was it Rachel McAdams, that picture of him leaving her house?
yeah, where you can see her closing the door.
Yeah, she's like waving out
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I kind of miss the Game of Thrones era for the side quests. Like hearing you like talk about it and like coming up with your theories, whatever. And it was like not that long ago, but like
Yeah.
I'm already like, damn, bro, that was like a good like, oh shit
We
moment.
talked
you
to
know?
Will. I mean, Will, you can either maybe stop listening or we'll just not spoil anything. But Will hasn't gotten any farther into the biggest reveal of the show.
They were
yeah.
about to see. They were literally about to watch Battle of the Bastards.
So
So they're an episode away from that, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, fuck all that. You need to fucking drop what you're doing, stop watching Silo, watch Game of Thrones.
or Shogun,
Yeah,
which we could get back into.
we could, but it's not as good as Game of Thrones. And I want it to be as good, and I think that's my problem with it.
It's just not. It's not.
that's on me.
High fantasy.
Yeah.
Dark high fantasy.
They should have just made it more like
Well,
Sekiro.
wait, is high fantasy like elves and
High
wizards?
fantasy is like with the elves and everything is pristine.
Yeah.
High
And
fantasy
then-
is very clean and kind of like.
Okay, so this is
Like
dark
the,
fantasy.
the dragons
So
are
this is dark
whimsical and they'll
fantasy.
send you on a quest.
Well,
And
then
dark
there-
fantasy is like motherfuckers are dying. There's plague.
Elden
That lady over there's got pussy warts, and the
Well,
pussy
there-
warts kill the
there's-
whole town.
There's generic fantasy, which is like what I would look at as like Skyrim.
Yeah.
And then you go below, there's dark fantasy, which is I would put Game of Thrones there, and you go a step further, which is Witcher, which is grimdark, where it's literally everything's fucked. There's not an ounce of good. The whole world's fucked. I hate it here. Whereas like Game of Thrones still kind of has that like, ooh, like the chosen one magic, like there is a semblance of hope. Whereas you go look.
Set photos have come out of the new Witcher. Not my Witcher.
It
Geralt.
quite literally is a thing where I'm like, I have no hate against Liam because he didn't ask for it.
100%.
It's 100% the writers, and
Yeah.
I feel bad for him because it's like
They're
he's
not getting my views.
Yeah, he's having to step into a thing where it's
Like,
like,
I might watch TikToks of it, but they're not getting my views like on a streaming service.
I'll either TikTok clips or I'll pirate it,
Yeah.
just so Netflix won't get it.
100%. We
Yeah.
need to.
If I find out that they're like, oh no, it's actually kind of decent, I'm like, I'll pirate it. I'm still not giving them their view.
But it's not going to be. It's not
It's
going
not
to
Henry
be.
Cavill.
Well, and the other thing is,
We already know
not gonna
the
be
writers
accurate,
don't even
'cause
get
that
it's
it.
was
not
the
going to be
problem.
accurate. Even if they're like going to tell different stories, it's not going to have like the core of what
Yeah.
Witcher really is. Which, again, season 1 was pretty close to that.
Mm-hmm.
the
Season 2
the games are very close to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though the author doesn't like games, but
He hates
It's crazy how much he shits on CD Projekt Red when the only reason people care about his books is CD Projekt Red.
100%. And because they are, I'd say 1-to-1. Like it doesn't feel like it's a break from it. It feels all canon. It feels all real.
Well, what makes it feel real is that it's like, even from what I haven't played The Witcher 1, and I'm glad we're getting a full remake of that game. But it didn't feel like an ass pull to be like, oh yeah, by the way, he's alive. Just straight up being like, oh yeah, all the book stuff happened, and it happened and ended away, and then, hey, you know what? It's a believable reason as to why we're here. And then setting up to Ciri was cool, where it's like, yeah, Witcher 1 and 2 don't really talk about her.
I do love in the show the reveal of
You're
him
talking
and Ciri
about
at the first
one
games.
being games.
The games like Witcher 1 and 2, the games, like there's mentions and kind of like, hey, you know, but like Geralt's got amnesia. He doesn't know what the fuck happened, so all he has is Triss. And that's a point of contention because Triss doesn't tell him shit. And that becomes an issue, especially when you meet her again in 3. It's like, you lied to me. And it's like, oh, fuck. And then, but then 3's whole thing is I have to find Ciri. I have to find Yennefer. Like, I have to get back to my old life. Like, try to...
And then, and then they pit Yennefer and Triss against, like, they make you pick.
Which is the easiest choice ever in the fact that
For
it's
people
Yennefer.
that know.
Well, even then, like, me personally, like, if I go by my taste, it's Triss. I don't know. I just like her more. But
That's
like,
why I initially picked,
but-
and then
but-
initially I tried to bang them both, but I picked Trish like in like most of the conversations over.
The thing is, I even playing the game, I was like, you know what, Yennefer is like has more of a chemistry and more of a like.
They have a great history.
Yeah, well, even
Well,
without,
actually,
A history full of
not a great
bullshit.
history.
They have a history.
yeah.
But like even then, they're like just in general attitudes towards each other. It's like there's something here. Like with Triss, it's like Geralt's just like she's kind of hot, and like but with Yennefer, it's like there is a very deep like I care about you. I'm not very good at saying it, but I fucking care about you, and like you can tell with her. So even then, even though I picked
all the
Triss,
stuff with like the djinn and his wish. Oh, so good using his last wish with the djinn stuff. It was so good.
I want to reread those books because I really do like them, and especially Ciri quickly is one of my favorite characters in those books.
I re-listen to one very often.
The Blood of Elves or the Last Wish?
Blood of
Last
Elves.
Wish.
Short story
Last
collection.
Wish.
Yeah. Because Blood of Elves is, I think, the first in the story.
That's the first one that he wrote.
Well, he wrote. It's the first novel.
Let me
Yeah.
just check my Audible.
He did because he did The Last Wish, which was a bunch of short stories he put out, and then
But
Sword
I
of
thought that
Destiny.
came out later.
It might have come out like they were all stuff he wrote. I think
Before.
he wrote them before he put up.
Oh, he
Because
just
it
didn't
was-
publish them
It was
until...
the stuff that he put into the local newspaper.
Yeah.
In
That's
their
how
short.
Pinocchio was originally published, and the only reason I know that is because I researched Liza P. lore like a motherfucker.
Last Wish.
Yeah.
Is the one I
Yeah.
listen to all the time.
And that's just like the little short stories that happen. Yeah, and it's funny because I'm pretty sure people say that's the reading order is just read them as release. Although the last one was it the Song of Storms, I think, or what is it?
Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
The Prince that was promised.
It's the most recent one. It's the one that he released in 2015 is one that you can kind of read whenever because it's just another like here's an adventure of Geralt doing Geralt shit.
Just pass the last couple books off to that guy.
Yeah. No. Did you see Brandon Sanderson was like if someone was like, hey, you finished Wheel of Time, would you want to ever finish Game of Thrones? And he was like, no, it's too dark for my taste. And I like he's a Mormon, I know, so he's like, there's things that I just can't write and I don't want to. And he's like, I can't finish it. It's like, plus he's like, me and George's writing styles are very different, where you like Sanderson would probably have a lot more hopeful to the last books, whereas George is going to, he might have a not necessarily happy ending, but like, hey, it's an ending that works, but man, I hate it.
Dude, you give Stephen King a vial of cocaine, he'll be done in a week.
Dude, no, did you see speaking of Sanderson and writing books fast, did you see that man like said he's taking a break from writing books, and then made a YouTube video where he's like, yeah, by the way, I finished
Yes,
the
I
fifth
did see
Miss.
that.
He said I finished the fifth Mistborn and just wrote a new book.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
And he's like, I can't tell you much, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, like I'm
Or
like,
we're like, don't say that. Just don't say that at all. Just be like, you'll find out. But he's like, it's pretty good.
I mean, to be fair, most people who read Sanderson novels are like, they're all pretty good. Like, I don't think I've heard there's a bad one.
But hearing him like take some pride in it is very interesting.
I like it, but I kind of like because I think especially if you like, it shows that he kind of likes what he does. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, for sure. I'm just saying,
yeah.
it definitely is going to keep people like on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, I like it though because like there's a level where you can kind of you can tell like when people are like doing their job.
Would Brandon ever do like sci-fi fiction, like
I think he's done like sci-fi stuff. I don't know if he's full because
like
I don't.
modern, like like space stuff or like that kind of science fiction?
I don't know. I'd have to look into his because I know he's got Mistborn, which is like an anthology of different like eras. Because there's like the first 3 books, it's just year whatever. Then it's like all this stuff. So he's got like that's like an anthology series. You've got the Way of Kings series, which he's got I think 1 more book in that to write, and he's done. And then yeah, in all those like he they're all fantasy-esque. I know that they have sci-fi elements to them sometimes.
Must be.
Yeah, all those cicadas are
Or
out
somebody's
too.
bringing in the trash can.
Yeah.
I still want to read Way of Kings. I have the book now, and I'm like, it's just been sitting on my shelf, just
Have
staring.
you finished the Red Rising trilogy?
I'd finished the trilogy. Yeah, it's I'm on the new ones, which is 4, 5, 6, and then soon to be 7, probably next year.
Cool.
Those are really good. I'm like midway through 4, and 4 is definitely the slowest book because they have to introduce new characters. It's I think a 10-year time jump between book 3 and this one, but we're at a point now where I'm like, oh fuck, like the characters' kids are getting kidnapped, and there's like now we're getting into like it's hella political, and like one character has to like stay on Mars to like kind of keep the politicians in check, whereas our main like one of our main characters has been exiled and is now like pretty much has a mercenary group to where he's like, fuck the government, I'm doing this shit myself. And everything I hear about this book is like, oh, it's slow, but it's a perfect slow build up to the next book, which is basically just like, fuck it, we're going all in on like action and like shit happening and whatnot. And that book, Dark Age, book 5, apparently cements the protagonist Darrow as like one of the goats of the like the genre of like he's just a machine of a human or whatever they are. They're humans, but whatever. I'm excited to get to that one because that's the one everybody says is fucking amazing. And then they say Lightbringer book 6 is like one of the most emotional books in the series.
The Lightbringer.
So I'm very interested for it. Yeah, the fucking Oni plays bit.
Yeah.
I like the trumpet. There he is. Get his jacket. Don't let him walk away. Get his. Anytime Zach says shit in an accent of some sort, it always is the funniest bit.
Yeah.
How's been Smiling Friends with his stuff in there?
So the president episode was really funny because he like stumbles across this secret society in the White House, and then
It's a bunch of worms.
yeah, it's a bunch of worms, and then they drop him down this like trap door, strip all his clothes off, and then he's like ejected out of these bushes in DC, and he like tries to go to this mom and child for help, and he's like, "There's a secret society," and they just run away screaming. And then in the Gimli episode, he's like the B plot because there's this like psychopath man that comes into the office and he's like, "I heard you guys aren't allowed
to
to
do whatever it takes to make me smile, no matter what, and no matter how long."
Yeah, so he's like, "God damn it!" And then he has to like make him dinner, and he like rips Charlie's nose off, and he's like holding a napkin to it. And he's like, "Hey, 911, yeah, he ripped my nose off. I just need some help." And he's like antagonizing him and like trying to slap the phone out of his hand the whole time. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to watch it because the best thing about Smiling Friends is you could tell me the whole episode,
And you're still not gonna get the full effect.
Well, and also I'd probably just be like, what? and it's one of those things where I'm like,
It's also another episode that has a full like person, like an actual human
yeah,
image in it. The entire like episode.
yeah. They like filmed one guy. It's like a reverse Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it's just one guy walking around with these little animated
it's so
characters.
funny if it was
Yeah.
just Chris.
It might be with like some prosthetics, but I
There's-
don't think
there-
it is.
I think there are some. Do you think the real person, or do you think there's prosthetics on the guy who's the president?
I honestly I can't tell.
Neither can I, because he has so much food.
There's so much like grease all over his face.
Ugh.
Like I don't think prosthetics would hold up through that.
Maybe.
And also they don't have the budget to make prosthetics that good.
That's true. Unless it was just the basic fat suit, it's probably a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great episode. I'm glad we finally got to watch it. And then the next day, I came into Beauty's room and I was like, "It's finally on Max." And he's like, "Of course it is."
We spent so fucking long trying to watch that shit.
Yeah. So, but it was good. Now they're coming out every week on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Sunday. It's a Sunday at 11. It's like
So we'll be watching it every Monday night.
Yes, exactly.
Have you guys seen? You probably have, but have you guys seen Dracula Flow?
No.
No,
Oh
what
my
is that?
I saw Dracula in Dead by Daylight.
No. Okay. So apparently, Filthy Frank is back to making content,
No fucking way.
but
You're lying.
But he's not on camera. He's just writing shit. But it's called Plumcore Records. And it's
this is a
Joji.
lie.
It's Joji doing shit, but he's either usually the one behind the camera or whatever. But it's his stuff, his comedy, and he has you know the old man from the Super Mega Returns video who's like the funny brothers. Yeah, they got this dude. They painted this dude's bald head into a Dracula hairline, had him wear a really shitty Dracula costume, and made him say some of the most out of pocket like hard rap gangster lines ever, and it is so funny. But and the thing is, they're all written by Joji.
I don't believe it.
He wrote
I don't
them.
believe it till I see it.
I'll show you. There's 5 of them out. There's 5 Dracula Flows.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's just on YouTube. It's some stupid
On what channel is it?
Plumcore Records, which is Joji's thing.
I
Apparently.
mean, Disaster Records was his first channel, so that does add credence to it.
I'm gonna. God, they're so fucking. It's so stupid.
The Prodigal Son. Is what
it's the
How
dumb-
long are the videos?
Well, the first one was like, probably like it was like a minute, like minute 30, whatever. It's just like it, and it's literally like something simple. Like it's him just being like, I'm smoking that like marijuana, like a bunch of random letters, like this pack. That shit had me shitting out bricks of cocaine, doing it's all this, but said in such a straight face way from this old guy. And it just keeps going. It never stops, and now there's 5 of them. But it's fucking wild. Here, I went to the Know Your Meme page to see if it has. Yeah, Dracula Flow refers to a series of viral videos, in which a man is freestyle rapping dressed as the vampire Dracula. These are posted to the YouTube channel Plumcore Records, which is a record label owned by Joji. AKA George Miller Filthy Frank. Yeah, that's it. So he just created a record label that posts stupid shit. I don't think they've put out actual music yet. They had one guy.
Do you think this could lead to the return of Pink Guy?
Maybe. Although maybe not. I think there's something about him where he's like he wanted to sunset that era, but like you can tell he's wanted to do comedy again, and this is his way of doing it. Where it's like, oh, no one's gonna expect Filthy Frank, but I can still put out stupid shit.
Speaking of Filthy Frank and Joji and the old Shrimps and
crew.
Boys, did you see the pictures of Max's wedding?
We have an iDubbbz isn't there.
Yeah, because his wife had a tattoo appointment that she couldn't move.
I fucking hate it.
I'm. This is a controversial take, but I'm on Sam Hyde's side on all that
Really? Why?
because iDubbbz' wife is clearly changing who he is fundamentally and ruining his reputation.
Remember when this fight stuff came out and like all the shit about her doing OnlyFans and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
I was like, dude, that's a fair, like, people are like, that's too far. You can't. I'm like,
no,
it's on the internet.
If you put your life online and your career is putting your life
for
online,
$5, I could like access that.
You could jack off on his wife's pussy for $5.
100%. That's on him.
Yeah. Like, have some goddamn boundaries.
Yeah. And some self-respect.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing with these people that are like, to have some fucking self-respect.
I'm no prize. But if I was dating a girl and she was like, I'm going to start doing OnlyFans, you know, all this shit, I got a lot of people interested, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, like, we've talked before, like, okay, I'm married, but if I wasn't, you know, like, probably having sex with an OnlyFans person would be, like, exciting.
I don't know if
But you,
yeah.
there's no fucking way you marry or
There's
long-term
no
date that person.
relationship there.
100%.
It's just, I fuck a cam
have
model.
some self-respect. I'm sure it'd be fun for a day.
Or it's like even if you're super cool with it, like don't immediately get super defensive about it. Like I feel like if iDubbbz would have been like, yeah, and like they moved on, it wouldn't have been a fucking issue. But the dude got real butthurt, be like, well, hold on now, like actually what she's doing is, and it's like, dude,
Sex work is real work.
like you sound way worse because it sounds like you're trying to like make an excuse for yourself. Not
Yeah,
for,
he's trying to convince himself, and you could see that in all those videos he made.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, just like if iDubbbz just would have been like if he would have been like, oh yeah, it was funny, and moved on, that it would be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing would have happened, nothing would have been a problem. That's it, and it would have moved on, would have been internet drama, and people probably would have been like less like hateful towards him, and in the sense where they'd be like, oh, I mean, yeah, I don't agree with it, but like iDubbbz doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't see anything wrong with it, so who cares? It's his relationship with his wife. Who gives a shit?
Me and Matt also, this is a thing that we do, but there's this guy in Seattle called Red Ranger who basically walks around like he's kick-ass in the streets.
Nice.
And
Did you see the video? Yeah, with
yeah, the one that you sent.
Cool.
We send those videos back and forth every now and again. It's like, I'm here with the Tupperware Tasmanian, and it's like this last one that he did. He was like, I'm here with iDubbbz. He turns the camera and iDubbbz is just walking around with him.
I did miss when iDubbbz did with Airsoft Fatty.
Yeah,
that was one of the best like documentaries.
The documentaries are the best, and I think that's why that video got made, is because he's doing the next one on Red Ranger.
I hope so. That got me excited. The other person I was really glad to introduce you to and get him on your For You page.
World of T-shirts.
Yeah, it's World of T-shirts. The most chaotic person in the world.
Fucking psycho.
Have you seen the videos where it's the alcohol breakdown of like, because he live streams his whole day, and it's a guy that like every day of the live stream he just has his channel that all he does is count how many drinks he has, like what he eats, how much he spends like on average, you know. And like what his BAC, his blood alcohol level is, and he's like just to show like fucking World of T-shirts needs help. He's a fucking alcoholic, and he has this guy that's like a handler essentially, because he was recently, maybe about a month ago, he was on a podcast. It's like, as much as I like find some like laughter and like some of his chaotic videos, the podcast is so fucking sad. Like, he's drunk as hell, like slurring his words, can barely stay on track, and they're like, all like the two hosts are like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm not drunk, guys. And then this handler is just like defending, just like, oh yeah, he's doing great, he's cutting way down on the alcohol. And he has this guy that's just controlling his fucking life, and essentially it's just like, I'm like probably taking a percentage of all of this shit and handling his money, and then just letting this guy get fucking drunk every day, and he's gonna live like 5 more years.
Jesus Christ.
It's really fucking sad.
Speaking of which, Dream Podcast, me, you, Luke, Chris Chan, Cyrax, World of T-shirts.
I would have to wear. I'd have to like wear body armor.
We'd be at a different location.
Yeah.
It'd all be over like Zoom or something.
Yeah, okay.
We'd be here,
God.
there on the line.
There's
Yeah.
no
No shot. We're
You
doing
know
that
Chris
live.
Chan would like grab your wiener and try to kiss you, right?
100%. Yeah, like just the thought of it makes me feel unsafe now.
Unsafe in your own home.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
I don't think I could look Cyrax in the eye. Like, I couldn't be in the same room with him, because that would make me feel uncomfortable just being around him, even though I know he's the least violent person on earth. Like, I just feel like crazy because he's a ghoul.
Explain to the people, because I think we've talked about Chris Chan, but explain to people who Cyrax and the story behind that.
Cyrax is basically this guy with crazy birth defects who is a rapper. He pretends to be a juggalo but doesn't know any like ICP songs, but he respects juggalos and wants to be a juggalo so bad. And he like makes the worst fucking music.
Maybe he just doesn't know who the ICP are, and he's like, "What is this thing that they're all
What is this
miming?
thing? I mean, I like clowns, but what is that?
What are they? Oh, what is this about?"
Turkey Tom did a great video on him. Everybody should go watch it. I've seen it like a billion times. But it basically just covers his whole history up until that video was made, and it's fucking crazy. He's
and Chris Chan, how many episodes is the?
They just finished arc 1.
But how many
episode
episodes?
80.
80 episodes of the most documented person online, and it's really fucking sad. And then it stops being sad because then he rapes. I mean, I might have to bleep that out, but he rapes his mom.
I was watching the documentary, and there was a part in there that I didn't know about that Gino Samuel illustrated. The day after he got kicked out of the house for that, he went and he stayed at the motel across the street from the Regency Square Mall, where the bear gave him the new name. And I was like, that is like the last episode of Death Note where Light passes himself on the street. It's like beautifully poetic.
Yeah. So that
it's such a weird thing. Christian's such a because the thing that's sad about it all is that even it's like you can see where this kid basically
there's so many opportunities where things could have changed for the better and they never did.
And it's because the people
and here's the other thing is there's obviously what he did was horrific, wrong. That's what I'm not talking about. What I am talking about is there were horrible people that took part, played parts in his history.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible people that that things in me that I wouldn't be proud of wanting to do to these people.
Wasn't it Liquid Chris one of the worst? Or who's the one?
No, Liquid Chris was there to be funny.
It was that
and
chick
make jokes
that would bring him to the mall and film him, and then the guys would tell her what to do.
And Blue Spike.
Yeah, just
some
horrible.
of the worst people that if we had found out that Chris Chan I was gonna say snapped, but snapped more and started hunting them down somehow. I
wouldn't be a surprise.
I'd be in a situation where I go hey, this is fucked up. Kind of had it coming though. You know what I mean? It'd be a thing where I'm oh no, this guy who made you shove your medallion in your asshole is now married with kids and regrets what he did. But you still made fun of an autistic kid for your own enjoyment while you were 12.
Well, not just made fun of. I mean, people do that
Torture.
online. Yeah.
Torture.
They made him drive to fucking Cleveland for nothing.
Yeah, it's so
it's one of those things where I'm not saying these people should die.
Well, and that's the whole thing about having a podcast. It just feels like the whole situation is ugly and messy.
Every
on
ounce
all
of it.
Sides.
There's no silver lining to any of this.
It's a swamp. The whole thing is a swamp. It's fucking.
It's the worst part in every Souls game. It's just here's this swampy.
Yeah, all your favorite NPCs are dead, and now you're in the poison swamp.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I got to the poison swamp.
There's
in
nothing
another
redeemable
Crab's
about
Treasure.
any part of that, and it's just awful. So
Yeah.
whatever. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
What are you playing now? By the way, now that you were done with Resi, are you gonna do separate ways, or are you gonna?
I mean, I don't have separate ways yet. I've gone back to another Crab's Treasure.
I was gonna say that.
I beat 3 of the bosses last night.
I started playing that because it's on Game Pass. It's really fucking good.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
definitely
really fucking. It's so fun.
I accidentally beat one boss that I wasn't supposed to beat yet, and it gave me one of the pieces of this treasure map that is one of the main goals of the game. I took it back to put it in, and he was like, "You weren't supposed to do that yet." But the area that you're supposed to go to is past the boss. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, don't fucking penalize me for that.
Yeah.
For being good.
Yeah. The whole point of this genre is get good. Now I'm too good, and you're making me feel bad about it.
There's also one boss that was really unique that it's called the Consortium. And it's just a little side objective boss. But it's a crab trap that has just a bunch of crabs trapped in it that walks around on the crab legs that are sticking out. And there's also an octopus in there that keeps smacking its arm around, and you have to break the joints of the cage to break it up, and that's how you win.
Very creative.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Have you been playing anything, Luke?
More Skyrim and Baldur's Gate. and Baldur's Gate's fun because like I've been saying, me and friends from work are playing like every weekend, like whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll just pick a day, but it's every weekend we keep going, and we've gotten to the Githyanki Kresh after doing the Underdark. We've rescued, like, we're doing a good playthrough. I say good, and we're just, the end goal is trying to be good, but shit happens sometimes,
Yeah.
And we're the goal is we cannot save scum. So if something happens, that sucks. We have to deal with it. We can't reload a save to try to fix it. So we've killed some druids on accident because Tanner was stealing things and got caught. Auntie Ethel died because I was too strong and killed her immediately, and then the little girl fell into the thing. That happened. So just all these things where it's like, oh shit, you would normally you'd be like, oh fuck, let me reload. We can't. If something happens, we have to stick with it. So now we're at a point where we're being very careful, where it's like, don't talk to this person. I have the highest charisma. I have to go there first. And so now we're really trying to plan shit out. And it's funny because like we're at points where like now we're getting to new content for me, where I'll just start running up and they go, no, don't go through that door. Do not go through that. You're just gonna start a conversation. You don't have it high enough, and like, it's really fun because like we're leveling good. The story's really good, but we're also just like, I don't know. It's just been really fun. And then I'm also just doing a playthrough on the side by myself, just whenever I kind of want to.
So what are you playing on?
Just PS4 or 5, and it's just the, like I spent an entire like hour, pretty much being like, what do I want to play with my character as? And then I started with like a Dragonborn Paladin, and I'm like, all right, hell yeah. And then I immediately was like, nah, I don't want to do that no more. So I reloaded, went back to character creation, spent another 45 minutes. I finally just picked, I was like, fuck it. Everybody talks about the drows and the whole absolute thing, so I was like, I'm going to be a drow warlock, and we'll go from there. And I just got to the goblin camp. And
my favorite build,
and they immediately were like, oh, hey, what's up, man? You can come in. And I was like, awesome.
I think my favorite build that I've done was you start as monk, but you build as a barbarian, and you do unarmed combat as a barbarian monk. So fun, so broken. You're like, and especially when you're like throwing punches and doing all this unarmed stuff, it's so much fun. And you get the tavern brawler feat, which is if you like throw shit or use like
improvised melee weapons and
yes,
shit. Yeah,
so much damage.
I've never loved D&D more than when I was playing a barbarian. That nothing will make you feel like a main character more than that.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
dude,
crazy.
I'm playing a tiefling barbarian in like our group playthrough.
Ranger's also up there on like damage. Too.
Yeah, Ranger is
like high level Rangers do so much damage.
I did a one shot once, and we scaled up levels just to make it fun. But I was like a level 10 Ranger with like blink. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
I've been watching these YouTube videos where it's like, here's how to make these like fictional characters in D&D or in Baldur's Gate. And I found one where it was like for just D&D 5e of Corvo from Dishonored, and like it was like Ranger, and I think
It's got to be Rogue, right?
it's Rogue. I think it's Ranger Rogue. But like no, what was the other thing? It was Rogue was the start because of all the stealth options. But there was something else to give you, like, because obviously Misty Step is the same thing as like the blink teleport thing, other stuff. But the way they built it and all the stats they were saying, I was like, Jesus Christ, this feels broken. And
how many stat categories are there in 5e versus Cyberpunk? Because I know there's like,
so it's Constitution, Wisdom,
Strength.
Intelligence, Strength, Charisma. I said and Constitution, Wisdom, Intelligence,
Dex.
Dexterity, Strength, Charisma.
There's 6, yeah.
so there's 6 in each.
Yeah.
And they're pretty like interchangeable. Like if you look at like Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
ones.
they changed the wording.
Yeah, but they mean roughly
pretty
the
similar.
same thing, yeah. But honestly, dude, Baldur's Gate is it makes me really fucking want like more of that style game of like, because the amount of content of like it's my biggest problem that I had with Fallout 4 and that I am kind of having with Skyrim even now, where Bethesda, like modern Bethesda, doesn't really want you to lock yourself out of content. Like everything has to give you a reward. There should be like no harsh punishments. Like the fact that, like in Fallout 4, the fact that you can go to the railroad and straight up tell these people with guns pointed at you, they're like, yeah, I think synths should absolutely be used as tools. And they go,
Get out of here.
Well, no, they don't say that.
They're like-
Deacon is like, hey, man, he seems like a good guy. We should let him in. And they let you in, and you can tell Deacon straight up, I like the Institute. They're cool. And Deacon goes, whoa, man, that's kind of like, I don't know if we can be friends. But we can't be telling everybody to leave. Like,
Follow
we need
me
help.
this. Yeah,
he's like, but we
I'll
do need
follow
help.
you, and I'll carry your stuff.
Yeah, he's like, but we do need help
Do you
in the
think
railroad.
that
And it's like,
with the success of Baldur's Gate, that CD Projekt Red will make a Cyberpunk Red,
I would love that.
like
I would love that.
like
Let you join.
essentially just do Baldur's Gate,
but with Cyberpunk.
but Cyberpunk Red.
That would be incredible.
If anything,
because I don't think it would come from Larian.
well, if anything, it would,
CG Projekt Red already has rights to.
well, if anything, it would
Cyberpunk.
be kind. It could see it being like a Fallout New Vegas situation where it's still their rights, but they can like lend it. Because honestly, the only people who could do it would be Larian, Obsidian, and
Because when it
In
comes
Exile.
down to it, if like why Baldur's Gate is good is because of the writing.
writing characters and like
Because it's not actually the game. The game is all numbers. It's all literally a program that somebody wrote, and it's A plus B and every variable, and that's just why like 5e you can just play with dice and
Cyberpunk
rulers
would be
and
easier though,
grids.
because you could make a serviceable Red game with like a modded version of XCOM.
Yeah.
I was gonna say either XCOM or Wasteland would be the two, because like Wasteland is also cover and like dice rolling there, but it's a little more free moving. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like I don't think CD Projekt Red would do it, because they're very clearly action RPG devs, and I feel like they would have to outsource to it, and it would probably be In Exile, Obsidian, or Larian.
Can you imagine Obsidian making a Cyberpunk game?
I'd fucking lose my shit. Well, because they already do the fantasy stuff with Divinity, not Divinity. Sorry, this is Larian. Pillars of Eternity is their series, and those are like looked at as pretty fucking good CRPGs.
Yeah.
CRPGs?
It's what Baldur's
Cock.
Gate. Did you say cock?
Yes. Cock RPG.
Yeah, cock RPGs.
Which is a word that means penis.
Yeah. It's basically for whatever reason they're just called computer RPGs. I think is what the term is.
Yeah, best played with like keyboard mouse.
Yeah, and so that's what it is. So it's the top. It's usually top down, the battle grid style RPG stuff like that. Wasteland, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity, Baldur's Gate, those games. Original Fallout would be those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have obviously, which is funny because Western RPG, even though the CRPGs are also Western RPGs. Western RPGs look at as like Witcher and the Cyberpunk and Skyrim, even though they're like, I would just call them action RPGs, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then you get into the JRPG and all the other shit there too, so, but whatever. No, yeah, I'd love a Cyberpunk in that form, like a Cyberpunk Red, like video game.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
You think they just do like what would you do it on, like a new thing, or would you straight up put it in like the Fall of Arasaka?
I mean,
or just base it after that.
Do its own creative thing.
Yeah.
Like do what Larian did. Just do Baldur's Gate. It's do your own thing.
I mean, there's enough lore there. They can build whatever they want in any era.
Like, yeah, it could be a completely different city. Make it fucking on Hawaii and like, you know.
To be fair,
in Maui. And
Baldur's
it doesn't
Gate
matter.
3 isn't necessarily its own thing when it is a sequel to 1 and 2, where characters and places are still from those games, but you don't need to play them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if they
Like
do,
all you need is like the items, essentially the items, and like lore of the story is the only thing that's applicable.
I honestly I think they should do what we've been doing, which is like, yeah, all the stuff that happened in the Red guidebook happened. Your story takes place after that, and it's set here, and if you happen, because I feel like it's like with Baldur's Gate, you're gonna go to Baldur's Gate, but it's like with any Cyberpunk, probably gonna go to Night City, and that's where it's like, okay, now we have to be more careful with lore over here. Whereas like, yeah, you're just traveling. Like if it's like what we're doing, where it's like, travel the world, but end up going to Night City. Fuck it. Who cares what happened in Montana? If we can fucking nuke it for all we care. but like it's all that
Most
matters is
Cyberpunk
Night City.
material focuses on fucking Night City, DC, and Japan, and that's pretty much it.
The only places that matter in that universe, dude. It's I don't know why I got more Cyberpunk like combat like combos. Dude, being able just to deflect a bullet is so fucking cool in a first-person action game. I don't know, bro. That's the coolest fucking shit.
I mean, it feels pretty good in Metal Gear.
That is true. But like, there's something about like first person. You just see the hands and the sword there, and like as you swipe, you just see the bullet ding off. I'm like, oh, this is fucking. It's so cool.
Can't wait to see how you guys use your new Chrome tonight.
Just be constantly just like fuck. Just shield in front of me.
Should we be worried?
Probably. It's
Maybe.
PJ.
Whatever.
Well, this motherfucker said
I do have something surprisingly big happening to you tonight. All of you.
Okay.
You about to freeboard down the biggest hill.
Freeboard into hell.
Dude, let's do it.
I'm expecting, you know the fucking Final Boss Fighter remake or before Sephiroth, the fucking car chase sequence. I'm expecting that, but we're all freeboarding.
Yeah, you're going 2 miles an hour shooting at each other.
Or first level of Sonic
Adventure 2?
Yeah.
No, what it
It's
is?
not going to be half as cool as that.
No, what it is H is driving his sick ass hot rod, and I'm on the back holding on, freeboarding behind him.
We'll see.
If H doesn't get on a freeboard, I'm killing him. That's all there is to it.
So I'm gonna be. Dude,
And with that,
Take it sleazy.